Ask Reddit thread. What does Reddit always blow out of proportion? Actual time traveler says, fucking everything. This website has less chill than the Sahara. Or is it the Sahara? Reddit cast way too much shade to be a desert. A desert is defined by its lack of precipitation. Antarctica is technically a desert. Shade has nothing to do with it. And how many shade-casting trees are in Antarctica? 17 last at count. The shit-inducing power of Taco Bell, right? I've never had a problem with Taco Bell. What the hell is everybody ordering that is causing this? Same with White Castle. I've never had a problem after eating it before. This this one's talking about how every time someone mentions Taco Bell on Reddit, they talk about the diarrhea it gave him afterwards. I have eaten at Taco Bell many times. Never got said shits. Yeah, some people need to get their digestive systems in check. Being anti-sensationalized news. Reddit always complains about the evil mainstream media writing sensationalist news articles with clickbait titles, but then sensationalizes shit out of a different news stories themselves. That's a great point. In this format, the more sensationalized topics rise to the top exactly as it does in mainstream media. We are the mainstream media. That's about right. Someone speaking in generalities and acting as if something is true 100% of the time, when really it's only true 98% of the time because there are rare exceptions. Wrong. What about the 2% of the time when the opposite thing happens? Nobody listens to this idiot. Dude, nobody watches the new Simpsons anymore. I'll have you know, my brother and I have watched every new episode as it's come out since 1989. Never missed one, and I still love them all. People like you just won't give new episodes a chance. On a similar note, a lot of people take pointless arguments way too seriously, but it always turns into people screaming the names of logical fallacies at each other and getting hung up on one or two words in the other person's post. Reddit, where pedantic people come to spread their wings. Someone actually got into an argument with me over Grumpy Cat's name. The dumbest part is I agreed with him, but I guess he didn't see it that way. Tumblr. Reddit acts like every Tumblr user is a 600-pound radical feminist who wants to make men illegal and ban exercise. But it's a huge website with millions of people, and you choose what you want to follow. If you're seeing that stuff, it's because you're choosing to. It's like if I made a site called Reddit in Action, exclusively linked posts to from/Coontown, they said literally everyone on Reddit is racist. Fun fact, on Tumblr, everyone thinks Reddit is full of women-hating Nazis. It's hilarious to be on both sides and seeing two sites with exactly the same type of people thinking the other is literally Hitler. I ship Reddit/Tumblr. I use Tumblr a lot. I use it to look at anime pictures, though. Lots and lots of anime fan art. It's great. Some of the people who post fan art there will post current event news and blog posts about their opinions on crap. If they do it too much, I unfollow them because I just want to look at pictures of fan art. I don't care about your opinion about current events. Hypocrisy. Every single person on this site has been a hypocrite once in their life, but they are still so quick to judge others for being a hypocrite, for being human. Yet, here on Reddit, what a hypocrite. I mostly agree, but I think the real problem is a bit broader. I think people need to be more forgiving, not to be in some contrast word searching for it's okay to get mad and try to crucify. Is someone mildly, remotely racist or sexist? Does someone admit to knowing about an out-of-date stereotype, rather than trying to engage whatever possible incorrect information they are operating off of? Shame them, dox them, threaten them. Most importantly, alienate them so they feel even more threatened by outside ideas. That way you can feel big and strong and right and pat yourself on the back. You were the hero today. You fought the good fight. The Kardashians. They're easy enough to avoid. Just don't click on the links, and who watches E anyways in the age of Netflix? Guys accused of being kiddie fiddlers for just being near kids. I'm a guy. I know lots of guys. Some who have kids or work with kids. I also can't think of an instance where someone thought they were going to do anything inappropriate with kids. They have to look and act creepy as fuck. Redditors. I just dislike how if you have any views that don't go along with the hive mind, you have to tiptoe into a discussion or face a shitstorm of downvotes and hatred. I hate how people vote well-written arguments against something. I think it's okay to downvote something if you're being a dick about it, if you aren't contributing to discussion, but just for having an alternate view is stupid. Let's see. Anything to do with marijuana. P.S. Legalize gay marijuana with Bernie Sanders draped in a rainbow flag. Fights in relationships. Did you bicker with your SO over the dishes? Screw him, you're better off alone. Hit the lawyer, delete the gym, Facebook up. Up the hit, lawyer, Facebook, gym, the delete. Now, people really love to fucking move those words around. The good ol', I'm a male who likes children, but literally cannot be seen alone inside a daycare without the SWAT team being called in. Demanding sources for freely available information they are too lazy to Google. Yeah, but when it's like 3-second gif of what may be the hottest porn ever, made with no clues as to discovering the lost video of Clematis, I'm gonna be demanding a source where to find and watch the whole thing in all its glory. Okay, you just proved my example wrong. I agree. How hard dating is for men. It's not because you're short/introverted/work XYZ job. It's probably due to bitterness and ranting on Reddit. I have short friends, quiet friends, and friends who work at McDonald's who have girlfriends. Some guy in here once told me that lesbians have bigger dating pool than men. Never mind the fact that gay and bisexual women only make up like 3% of the population. But no, it's so hard for nice guys to find a girlfriend because girls only go after jerks. I like to call these people delusional, immature people who never grew up. Feminist. Most feminists are not bigoted lesbian man-haters. No doubt, I'm a guy and I have some pretty feminist views myself. Reddit makes them all seem like feminist Nazis, though. Bernie Sanders. Burned down for what? Sanders, Sweden, Glorious Paradise, Miracle Drug, Weed, the list goes on. Anything to do with police. Man arrested after punching multiple infants in the face. These power-hungry cops need to be stopped. Man arrested for shooting 5 people in the street. These fucking cops so power-hungry can't even go outside. Emma being tamed, LOL. Man killed in shootout by police after raiding elementary school, killing 78 children, later going to the hospital and telling dead sick children that Santa isn't real. Police brutality. Seal the lion. I don't care about the lion. Circumcision. In my opinion, waiting for the shitstorm now. I agree that it shouldn't become a practice, but it's not like anything the end of the world. Circumcised. Living life fine and dandy. Christ, this is... I'm circumcised. Dude, why is this a counter-argument? Life is great. It's still fucking kind of weird, that's all. How bad Nickelbad is. Yeah, I said it. They aren't bad. They're just so mediocre and tame, they'd be better if they were bad. Certain defects of American culture. Tipping. It's not just a problem. Servers get paid very well. Diners get good service. Virtually nobody complains, but Reddit acts like it's some sort of crime that causes servers to be destitute. Sales tax. No, it's not included on the sticker. No, there's never been an American over the age of 6 who's confused or outraged by it. Yes, if you consider it so mind-blowing and confusing, you might want to revisit your basic arithmetic skills. Taking shoes off inside. Many Americans do it, but lots of Americans don't. Especially if you're in a warmer climate or it's a warmer season, there's not a lot of rain or snow that causes you to track mud into your house. In many cases, it just might mean you have to sleep once a week instead of every other week. And that being said, a lot of Americans still take their shoes off anyway. There's a lot wrong with America, but tipping, sales tax, and taking your shoes off really aren't among our problems. If you complain about the goofy round system in Irish pubs or the fact that German restaurants won't even give you a glass of water, I'd be told to shut up and appreciate the cultural differences. But if the U.S. does something differently, it's not a unique idiosyncrasy, but rather a defect in need of correction. Turn signals. If you do this, fuck you. LOL, sheesh, calm down. Social justice warriors. Seriously, I get that they're annoying, but they're a pretty limited bunch who congregate in the likes of Tumblr anyways. Plus, they do not represent the average person who cares about social justice. Even on Tumblr, you have to actually search through websites to find any sort of activity from them. Plus, the most popular social justice stuff is like clips from the Daily Shows and quotes from Bernie Sanders, who Reddit loves. So I really think the social justice warrior hate is blown out of proportion. Ugh, stretch my back. Anti-vaxxing. I've seen precisely 0 people espouse this view, but here you'd get the impression that it's a major movement that gets taken seriously. I stand corrected. Apparently I've made the cardinal sin of underestimating the idiocy of the world. A lot of the Redditors are white, middle-class Americans, where the movement gained the most traction. I have seen it quite a bit. I also live in California, where a lot of it happens. My mother is an anti-vaxxer. My doctor had to threaten her with calling CPS on more than one occasion because she didn't want me to be vaccinated or receive treatment for potentially debilitating, easily cured disease. I can assure you, people actually feel that way. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid people in the world. Religious people in the world. Mainly strangers, not family members. I think I've seen a handful of people in real life that have spoken out loud about their religion. And this is coming from somebody who dresses in a gothish manner and lives in the southern U.S. Even then, nobody has aimed their words at me. Everything about the economy, although this is common pretty much everywhere. It's always doom and gloom. Something is always right around the corner about to destroy the world economy. Evil capitalists and or government officials are conspiring against us. Truth is, we live in the most prosperous era in human history. Things are only getting better faster. We are on the track to eliminating extreme poverty in the next decades. Recessions are only small dips in overwhelming upward trends. It's a great time to be alive. False rape accusations compared to actual rape. Yes, they're a shitty thing that can ruin someone's life and should be dealt with seriously, but it's nowhere near as heinous or commonplace as rape. Edit. I'm not trying to downplay the severity of false accusations. It's something that should be taken seriously. What I'm trying to say is that Redditors are their own worst victim at trying to advocate the cause. I've seen quite a few comments on false rape articles that go along the lines of, that person should go to jail as long as the accused did, or carry out the full sentence. I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to get behind eye for an eye type punishment. Pretty much anything related to so-called censorship and freedom of speech. A lot of people on Reddit don't seem to actually understand that what either of those two things are, and perceive even the most minor infractions, like a mod rightfully banning a post in a subreddit for breaking its rules, as censorship, ! 1984 is real. Yes, you do have free speech. You can say what you want without fear of government persecution, with some legal exceptions, of course, but more or less what you want. But that does not mean other people aren't allowed to criticize you for the shit you say. Nor does criticism of your opinion / argument / viewpoint equate to censorship, or the opinion / argument / viewpoint. That does not mean other people have to listen to the shit you say. That does not mean other people must provide you with a platform for the shit you say. That does not mean a private company can't choose to fire you if you decide to say some stupid shit. Go to work, scream at your boss, and call them a cunt. Then cry freedom of speech and see what happens. Yeah, I see, the thing is, I don't really ever see anyone complain about this, other than people complaining about people who've complained about it that I've never seen before. But Reddit does really love to talk about what freedom of speech actually means, and they more or less just summarize these points. It's really not a giant boogeyman / woman out there to make everyone date people who weigh 400 pounds and criminalize working out and being skinny. All it really means is that it doesn't matter what size you happen to be. You can take action, be healthy, and shouldn't be shamed for working out while fat or whatever. I've gone searching for some of the militant Haze activists on Tumblr and haven't found them yet. Maybe there are a couple, I don't know, but they hardly represent the idea as a whole, and no one is trying to force anyone to be fat or date people that they want to date. Religion. I must be an imbecile for believing in a creator. Nickelback. I am absolutely positive that 90% of the people here who rip on Nickelback have never listened to one of their songs ever. Let me feel your downvotes pour over me. How bad circle jerks are. Sometimes it deserves to be called out, but most of the time it's people crafting false narratives about the site, for example. Reddit loves doing X obscure stupid thing that I'm totally above. And whenever some brings up a good counterpoint in an argument, some whitey butch always has to say this: "Shh, you're ruining the circle jerk," and the classic, "Why don't you get your facts out there?" Reddit hates that. It's so hyperbolic and lame, and it basically details the discussion into an anti-circle jerk. Okay, knowing what to stay calm, everyone blows up on here. Any perceived injustice suffered by a young white male in the inner workings of the video game industry. Feminist and feminism. Reddit makes it seem as though living in America is just like living in Iraq or something. Instances in which men suffer gender discrimination. Obviously it happens, but in most areas, equal pay, violence, etc., women have it much tougher. Judging from posts that make the main page, however, you would think that the opposite is true. Every time a news story comes out, people use it to their excuse to hate X group, and people eat that shit up. ISIS throws puppies down a well while crackling maniacally. DAA, all Muslims are evil. The social justice warrior, feminism, how amazing drugs are. White atheist males are not the most oppressed people in society. Get over yourself. Beats by Dr. Dre. Announcements and content changes. Real talk. I've noticed no decrease in quality, much less the site going downhill since Fat People Hate and Coontown were banned. All the people I've tagged after they said they were leaving to vote never even followed through. Oh, I'm so glad that's over. It was so annoying to hear that everywhere. Unclear instructions. Alright, that's it.